Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of the JT and Big O podcast. We are your hosts, Video Geek JT and Ryan Big O Regan. How are you doing, my friend?
I am sore and just, as you can see, very overwhelmed, I guess would probably be the word for it.
Overwhelmed?
Overwhelmed. Not necessarily with, just the stuff that's going on in society right now, but for anyone that's actually watching the video of this, you can tell that half of my room, my studio here, is run over by wood. Lots of wood. That's because
run over with wood.
It's my futon that I had in my living room, and I am not good at measuring, so this thing does not fit in the room just yet. So I apologize for the aesthetic if that messes with anybody. If you're missing any of the posters, any of the things in the corner, sorry. I will try to have it looking better by next episode, but until then, yes, I do look like I'm living out of a garage.
Seriously, Big O, look at the incredible setup I have here, and you're going to just have that mess behind you? How dare you? How dare you, sir?
I dare to be different, all right? I'm not like those other professional podcasters. I'm unique in the fact that I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't think that's that unique in the world of podcasting.
Oh, I mean, we shouldn't be throwing shade, but it's true.
Hey, you know what? For all the times we've had trouble with our microphones, I've been listening to a podcast who I like the people involved with it, but their podcast has been going over 10 years, and I despise their audio. So I think everyone's just consistently learning or not learning at all.
Well, no, but that proves the point that all people say about this sort of stuff, that it's not necessarily the setup, it's about the content. And yes. Content has people that, regardless of how it looks or how it sounds, if people enjoy it, they enjoy it. Which actually kind of drags us into today's episode to an extent, because given everything that's going on in this past couple of weeks, and with everything still stemming from the pandemic and the entertainment news sphere that we are usually accustomed to has been lacking because of recent events, we're actually going to call an audible, and we're going to dedicate this episode to a single subject that we both are going to just really let it fly. Let the shit hit the fan and see what spatters off.
Probably not the best terminology to use when opening up to an episode about food.
Well, food and drink. Okay. And certainly,
again, neither one of them.
Everyone's related to, and Lord knows if you drink the wrong stuff, shit will hit the fan. So it segues. It gets there.
Yeah, this is a good start. So yes, as Ryan referenced in a few episodes back, we are somewhat bigger gentlemen. We know our delights. And so this episode, we're going to discuss a few of them.
Well, not to mention, we've kind of almost leaded to this in previous episodes, whether it be the Rowan Co. liquor that I got for my birthday, or the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches that I got the other episode that I went and ran for and decided to bring back, and then that led you to talking about your food. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, regardless of what's going on, food and drink are two of those things that are almost universally accepted. Regardless of who you are, regardless of where you are, there's always something that you can go ahead and nosh on or chug back that's going to make you feel better, feel good. That helps body, helps soul. So it's a good thing to really focus on. So this way we're not necessarily getting ourselves in any trouble with anything.
I think, and for this, the duration of this pandemic, that has been a comfort thing, has been food, though looking at my body my whole life, comfort has come from food. But for most of the pandemic, I was trying new meals, from fresh chicken fingers, fish, and all this other stuff. And then when things started to improve and the restaurants started opening, got to enjoy my Taco Bell again, my Wendy's again, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
So wait, you were starting off by enjoying like fresh chicken and fish, and then the minute the restaurants opened up, it's like fast food. Yeah, here I go.
Oh yeah, the first time I had a taco from Taco Bell in months, which was Cinco de Mayo, I was like, "Oh my god, I miss you so much."
Oh God, you say it like that, and it gets to like that Homer Simpson place where it's like, if I think it was beer. He was missing at one point. And it's like teacher, mother, secret lover when he was like embracing it again.
No, that was TV.
Oh,
It
that was
was
TV.
teacher, mother, secret lover.
To be fair, he could say it about anything, but
He could. He says them about just about most stuff. But yeah, mine was grilled steak, soft tacos from Taco Bell, followed soon by Wendy. Which, by the way, the minute that the restaurant started going up again, I noticed. Maybe this isn't true for all of them, but at least for Wendy's, I've seen like lines going all the way around the store. Wendy's is really doing good in this pandemic, I think.
they were. It's funny that you mentioned Wendy's and Taco Bell.
Yeah, all right. Do you want me to be the one to touch on this topic? Because everyone has it wrong.
Um, I
I'll
mean,
touch it.
we are talking about the same thing about the little controversy that came out this past week. Yes.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
And again, and everyone's kind of got this wrong. I don't have all the information in front of me, but for those who don't understand, there was a post that went out recently saying that $400,000 was donated to the Donald Trump presidential campaign by a CEO who owns Wendy's, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. However, this is where they kind of got things wrong. In the world of business, those stores are called franchises. For those who don't understand what a franchise is, it means that basically someone can actually buy their own Wendy's or McDonald's or Burger King restaurant. Like there's the corporation that owns the branding and everything, but then they lease that out to people to open up their own. So a Burger King in New Jersey might not be owned by the same person who has a Burger King in California because multiple people own them. In this case scenario, the people who donated this money to Donald Trump was not the actual owner of Wendy's or Taco Bell or of Pizza Hut.
They
They were
weren't the
just
CEO.
they were the CEO of a company that owned multiple restaurant franchises, and the company is called either Moy Restaurants or Moy Food or something like that. And yeah, of course, that's the three franchises they pretty much run are Wendy's, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut. But that's not every Wendy's location, not every Taco Bell location, not every Pizza Hut location. It's only certain locations, mostly here on the East Coast. So don't start trying to like, oh, I can't eat at Wendy's anymore because they support something I don't like. That it's not true. It doesn't stand for the company as a whole. Continue to support Wendy's, continue to support Taco Bell, continue to support Pizza Hut. If you want to kind of stick it to this person because of where they donated their money, just look up where their franchises are and feel free to avoid those ones.
So this is a completely separate situation than say like Chick-fil-A and their donations to anti-LGBTQ stuff.
That is correct. With Chick-fil-A, the owners of the branding, the actual owners of Chick-fil-A, their owner, our CEO, I forget if it was CEO or the actual owner, they're the ones who donated the money to anti-LGBTQ organizations. So that one, you can hate them as a whole. But then again, if you really think about it, even going further than that, they're a franchise too. So there's a lot of individual owners who own their Chick-fil-A's. And to my understanding, a number of them are actually in support of LGBTQ rights. So again, it's one of those things when you get into franchises, it starts getting a little bit muddled.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, I guess your politics are always going to be separate from, certain interests. And yeah, if you like the food, it's going to be hard for you to say no, especially with these kinds of brands, because it's different from like McDonald's. Because McDonald's, I think, usually gets like bad press about their food regardless.
Oh yeah, and that's the real sad thing about some of these companies like Chick-fil-A. I hate the fact that like you can't support them for something because of what they're doing. But at the same time, they have some of the better food of any of the other food franchises. They have the better workers, the better environment, the fresher food. It's
The
like,
soft serve
what?
ice cream cones is just great.
It's like, why do you have to be evil?
Oh,
Like,
and that
well,
frozen lemonade. Oh my god, that frozen lemonade's so good.
and then a
It would be
company
great
like
on a day like it was last day.
and then a
But
company like I forget what company was in full support, and it's like, yeah, but I hate your food and I don't want to eat.
well, I mean, I guess there's a benefit to like there only being the one Chick-fil-A in the area because then it's not like it's not pounding me in the face. So it's like you want, you want it, just go and get it. It's like no, I'm not traveling all the way down there. Fuck that. I'll go to the places that are like possibly evil but are closer.
They actually are expanding now. There is I know at least one new store opening up for the New Jersey people here in the South Plainfield area. But, and actually, speaking about food, oh man, I always forget the name of this place, but all my friends are really into it. It's actually a franchise from, I want to say South Korea, but I'm probably very wrong about that. I think it's called Jolibees.
Jolibees?
Jollibee. Yep, that's it. Oh, Philippines. Their headquarters in the Philippines. So yeah, this is another franchise that's just starting to make its way into the United States, and they're mostly well known, from my understanding, for their chicken. And there is a franchise that just recently opened up here in Edison, New Jersey. So, and the line has been crazy. I haven't gotten anywhere near the place, so I don't know what they taste like yet. But apparently, they're supposed to be to die for. Maybe I shouldn't have said that line because my next example was going to be to use what's the name of the that chef that unfortunately took his life a few years ago?
Oh, Anthony Bourdain.
Yeah, Anthony Bourdain. He actually in an episode of his show, I can't remember what it is, like Destination something. He actually, that was the one fast food restaurant he went to show off their food.
Mm. Well, no, I mean, recognize the man for the show and the talents he had, sure, but I mean,
His name will come up again in the show because I do have another reference to him in regards to food.
yeah, my whole thing is, considering we were just talking about the political landscape of fast food restaurants, and then you're telling me about a chain that's directly from the Philippines. What are their policies on child and sex trafficking? Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know.
There's no good way about it.
Is any gigantic corporation not evil?
I don't think so. I think if you want to get to the top, you're gonna have to slit a few throats. That's business ethics. That's all it is. And I know you're the business major and everything, but I mean that's why I don't think we've gone ahead and like struck 100 million subscribers, because we're not cutthroat to do anything that would be harmful to any audience or any other podcast to really get to that point. But aside from that, food.
All right, so I was talking about Anthony Bourdain. So I'll bring up one other thing about him. I only really got to see his show once he passed away because they were marathoning it. And I remember one episode, he is somewhere in France sitting in this beautiful land, like it's just open land. He's at a picnic table or maybe not a picnic table, some sort of table. He's drinking wine, eating this really fancy food. And the only thing he goes from there is like, you know what? I'm so lucky in life because if it weren't this, I'd probably just be sitting in I would be sitting in a deli in Asbury Park, New Jersey, eating a sub. And I'm like, but I like subs from Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Well, I mean, I'd say as far as like Asbury Park, I can't say I've had a sub from Asbury Park, New Jersey, but certainly shore food is one of those things that I don't know if it's because of the air or the water or what it is, but shore food always tastes different from so many other things in the world. Like you could get something at like Seaside Heights that you could get any place else, whether it be New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania. The shore one always tastes more unique. Not necessarily better, but certainly more unique.
I have not found it to be that way. Maybe a sense of the smell of the seawater. Well, it's not seawater; it's ocean water. The smell of the ocean water mixed with eating the food maybe gives a different sense, because a sausage sandwich from Asbury Park or from Seaside Heights or from Point Pleasant tastes the same for me as any other place I could get one.
I think maybe it's a question of the places you've gone to. Like for myself, I know when it comes to summertime, one of the things I always try to do during the summer is I have to go down to Seaside and I have to go to the Midway, which is that little cheesesteak lemonade stand in the
Mhm.
middle of the boardwalk with that
It's
giant lemon on top.
very, very iconic. Like if you ever look at pictures of the Seaside Heights boardwalk, it's one of the first things that come out at you.
Yeah. So anytime during the summer, I at least need one day, just one day, to go down, get my cheesesteak, get my lemonade, sit on the bench that's right next to it, and just enjoy. And mind you, I've had cheesesteaks at other places, but no cheesesteak tastes like a Midway cheesesteak.
I'll be honest with you. In my comparison, I was thinking about Midway. Again, I'm sorry. They don't taste much different than many other places I've been in my life.
You
I'm
hurt
not
my
saying they're
soul.
I'm not saying they're bad. I like them. When I go to Seaside Heights, I either go to them or there's actually, I hate to say it, there's another one a little further up by the uh by the arcades that's actually pretty good as well. But I don't know. Again, I like them. I just don't think they're unique.
You do a
He's
disservice to
so
the
pissed right
state.
now. He
You
is
do a
so
disservice
pissed.
to me. Shame on you. Shame on your family. Shame on your llama. Just, oh,
Shame. Shame. Just
oh,
start ringing
God.
a bell. Shame. Dee dee ding.
Oh, if I
Uh
had a bell, I mean, I do have a bell, but it's not like a ringing bell. It's like one of those little bellhop bells. I would go get it, but I would mess up the audio so bad because I'd just be doing it right here into the mic, right into your ear.
well, we have separate tracks now, so I could just mute you.
Gee, you bastard.
Uh
But
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many iconic places though that are like just along the shoreline itself. Like that's the thing. We come from like a coastal town. Like the places that we have is probably nothing like what you'd find over in Pennsylvania. And New York, for all of the restaurants that you find up in there, a lot of them are more city centric. It's not necessarily like, stuff along the waterline or stuff along the coast. Shore food has its very unique flavor, a sense. And you could say it's maybe just the air and the water that while you're there, but I would almost wish that we could actually go ahead and do like a taste test down next time we ever go to like the Asbury Studios, like we did before, if they were open up by that time. I
Uh
want us to just like travel to a couple of different places down the shoreline, pick up stuff, and then we do like a taste test and just see whether or not there's a difference between like the shore stuff and stuff you could get anyplace else.
Maybe not at Shared Universe, because unfortunately I believe they are closing down the Asbury Park studio
Well, son of
and
a
moving
bitch.
everything back to Edentown. But I am more than game to try to do something at one of the Jersey Shores, whether it's Point Pleasant, Seaside Heights, or Asbury Park at
Just
one
not
point, and
Wildwood, because I
we'll
ain't
just
traveling that far.
no. There's some places that I haven't been to Wildwood in a long time, but yeah, it's I don't think it's worth the drive down there. Cape May is well, no. Cape May actually I've heard I haven't gotten to try them all, but they have some good food places down there. Some that at some point I really want to check out. Like I
Well,
think
yeah, I'm sure every place has like one or two places that's like listed on a list somewhere of like the plus places to go per county.
yeah.
I don't know if there's anything that's fully Jersey.
Well, there is one place if you go down to Long Beach Island, which is even way far for us. But down there they have a place called Chicken and the Egg.
Yes. Okay. Chicken and the egg I'm familiar with. I've been there once, but I'm familiar.
So if you're a fan of like buffalo wings and stuff, like your Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, Quaker Steak, you can.
You said that with such chagrin.
I don't. I want to stick on chicken and the egg real fast, but yeah, I'll get back to Quaker Steak. Uh, So Chicken the Egg is a like a small store. It's only one of them, and it's all the way down Long Beach Island by the Beach Haven area. And they make their own sauce. It's delicious. It is worth the trip down there. One of the best things about them is, whereas with Buffalo Wild Wings and their competitors, they'll give you like the little nuggets and put the sauce on that. They give you full size juicy chicken fingers that they drown their sauce in, and it's delicious. I love it. And they get it from Murphy's supermarket, which is like right next door over there, if anyone's been familiar. By the way, you're talking about how you like sausages from Midway and stuff like that. That is one of the places to go if you want to get it and cook it at home. It's like the same exact meat. um but yeah, chicken the egg is definitely one of the willing to go out of the way by a 2-hour drive just to get them. Yeah,
Which I'll admit, the time I went, it was unique because I saw that it was like, when we got there, it was me and someone else. And we said, okay, we were just going to go down for that. The minute we get down there, we're finding out it's like a 2-hour line wait.
Oh, yeah.
To get into the place. So it's like, okay, well, there's the miniature golf. There's an arcade. There's stuff over there that we can do in the meantime, I suppose. But
it is a wait. You have to put in ahead of time for this thing. Me and my ex-girlfriend now, we went down there and we got a reservation. Yeah, and we had to walk around for like 2 hours before we could get in to sit down to get our meal.
Which I guess if you're going to make a day trip of it, it's not the worst thing in the world. Because then it's like there's at least things you can do. There's sights, there's scenes that you can go and experience if you've never been to the place before. I remember before we went in, I think it was even before we had the mini golf to buy the time, we just sat and there's a perfectly beautiful landscape that's just on the horizon, and you can watch the sunset. It was a very nice scene. So it's just a prime location if you got to go ahead and waste time before you go ahead and gorge yourself on these huge-ass wings that, yes, I did have to take some home. I'm usually the continent professional. If I'm getting wings, I'm having them there. But no, this place had to make me take a doggy bag, and that's how I know I was defeated.
Yeah, I've done the same thing. It is a good amount of food they give you too. Don't try to order too much thinking like, oh, that's going to be a small portion. No, they give you a lot. Like, just take my word for it. And because we are a media-based podcast and we have a lot of friends in the film community, I should point out this is around the area where they have the Lighthouse Film Festival every year. So if you're a usual attendant of that film festival, that would be the time to go and check them out if you don't want to drive out of your way just to get chicken fingers. Oh, and I should point out they have wings and stuff too, but I'm a big fan of their chicken fingers.
Oh yeah, no, they have a full menu, of course, but you go for what makes them popular.
Right.
It's like that's like you don't go to Taco Bell for their nachos necessarily. No, you go for the tacos, you go for the burritos, maybe a quesadilla.
Now, one thing to just move away from them real quick. One thing with franchises, though, is sometimes if you don't have a franchise near you, you kind of think they're greater than they actually are. Actually, Taco Bell's an example of that because there's not many of them on the West Coast. So if I like, what's the name of the guy from that guy with the glasses in Channel Awesome? Brad, I believe his name was. He had an episode where he drove 2 hours just to get tacos from Taco Bell because there was no Taco Bell near his area.
Wow. I can't imagine that.
Hey, I've had friends do that for Sonics, and all right. There's a lot of all right. I was planning on making this a very positive episode. I guess I'm going to have a few negatives here. Just to go back to Quaker Steak, because that was the first thing I mentioned. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're awful. But I really don't think they're that good. I think if you're going to go out of your way for wings and stuff, you want to either go to Buffalo Wild Wings or one of my favorite ones that have been slowly growing, Wingstop. They were one of my favorites, especially one if you're in New Jersey. The one in the North Brunswick is one of my favorites. But Quaker Steak was always kind of like their wings were meh, their sauce was kind of meh, and then there are other items. I hated their their boneless wings. Their boneless wings were the worst of all of them. But I think because there's so few of them, like there's only a spread out to a certain locations, I think people covet them a little bit more because they can only go to them so often. And now, actually, there was one here in Edison. The Edison one is now gone, and now I think the closest you can get to it is Brick. So I think I'll know a few people who will probably go like, well, we got to go there. We'll drive down to Brick one day.
I just know, because knowing where you live, I can imagine that there was like a little bit of like, ugh, just defeatist mentality, like having to see the place.
I'll put to you this way: if this place is probably the most convenient for me to go to, and I was still going out of my way for Buffalo Wild Wings and Wingstop, that's how much I enjoyed them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. But that's the thing about franchises. That's the thing about change. It's the convenience. It's the fact that they'll go ahead and they'll buy up so many locations just so that there's like one in every town or one in every county, just so this way they can monopolize the market. Like that's kind of like how I was feeling with McDonald's, because when I would see a McDonald's, there was the one in Linden, and then there was the other one in Linden, and then there was the one in the next town over, and then there was the other one in the next town over. It's like, there's got to be other places. There's got to be other things. I don't know. I've tried to stay away from fast food as much as possible, especially during this pandemic. But things like mobile apps, like Uber Eats, Postmates, DoorDash, Grubhub, it's like, they're the best deals. I hate to say it, but if you want food on the cheap and knowing you have to get for the delivery and you have to tip the guy, your cheapest bets are those chain places that are going to go ahead and offer the free delivery or the 15% discount and stuff like that, because they know their food is a hell of a lot cheaper and shittier than if you actually went ahead and tried to get it all from a legitimate restaurant.
It's kind of funny. Being the pandemic or anything, even before the pandemic, I've never been into delivery. I always rather go pick it up myself. That way I can go in person, check the food, make sure it's right, and then take it with me.
Oh God, no, I'm not doing pet.
I've never seen anyone have a pork roll and egg sandwich delivered to their house until you.
Two of them, to be fair.
Two sandwiches.
Yeah.
That one, when you said that to me, I wasn't annoyed that it was going to be in the middle of the show. I was just like, you had a pork roll and egg sandwich delivered to your house? Go get your ass up and go get a pork roll sandwich.
Well, the thing is, now there's not many places that both do takeout and pickup. One that may just do the takeout, where you have to have it delivered, because the place is so small that if you were to go and do pickup, it's like, what are you doing? You're just standing outside the building, and they're just going to open up the door and toss the bag to you, and you toss the money to them. It's like, I don't even know how that works for some places, to be honest. But also, to be fair, I was waiting to do the show. I was hungry. It was getting to the point where it was like brunch time. And yes, I do consider brunch to be a thing. So I was like, well, what's the best thing I can do? I don't have the time to cook anything. And I know that if I get something later, it's not going to count as brunch. So I get sandwiches delivered.
I think the only time I've ever done delivery is when I convinced you to bring a burger to a taping.
Ah, that's right.
As the only time I think I've ever really done delivery. It's like, I'm hungry. Any chance, can you pick up a burger on your way over here? And then you gave it to me and we started the show, and I walked away with the burger.
From Burger King. I used to fuck with Burger King. I can't anymore.
I don't like Burger King.
They're just sad. It's like, you know how places, when
we are really trash talking food places right now. We have nothing positive so far.
No. I promise we will get to some positive places. All right, I will definitely make some recommendations for you people. But as far as Burger King is concerned, now we've seen commercials. We've seen commercials where they go ahead and they promote a new item or their traditional stuff, and how good it always looks on television. And then obviously you go ahead, you buy it. It looks nothing like the commercial. Burger King, I feel, is like the worst offender of that. Like, when you look at like the Whopper, the iconic Whopper, and you see how stacked high it is, even though it's like, maybe one thin layer of meat and the rest of it is veggies, but it's stacked, it's proper, it looks great. I have been to Burger King enough times where I've gotten a Whopper and it just looks like it looks like a flower that got thrown up, where it's like all spread and like it looks like it's blossomed, but it shouldn't have blossomed. You know, I don't understand how people allow that to go. Every time I get that, I take it right back to the restaurant. I'm like, this is not what I ordered. And I'm like, you ordered the Whopper. This is not a Whopper. All right, this is the Whopper that someone left. You basically recycled this. You repurposed this. No, I want a fresh one. I will be that asshole that goes into the place and be like, this is not happening.
I will do that if it is so disgusting that that I do not feel safe at putting that in anywhere near my body. But then again, that tends to be the case a lot of the times with Burger King. As a kid, I used to love Burger King. And in recent years, I found them to be the worst of all the franchises. I'll go to McDonald's. I think Wendy's has the best overall on their menu of fresh items.
Oh yeah,
but
fresh
Burger King is always so. I'm sorry, Burger King, but your food looks disgusting, and it doesn't.
It's as
and it
creepy
doesn't
as
do
your mascot,
and it doesn't mix well with your body too. Every time I eat that stuff now, I get sick off of it. Your chicken nuggets are both a ripoff of McDonald's and a worse version of McDonald's. And that's saying a lot because McDonald's chicken nuggets, while delicious, are also not good for you. So I don't know how you made a worse version of that. The only thing I really like from them is their chicken sandwich, their dollar chicken sandwich. Actually, I take it back. I do like their full-size chicken sandwich too. But, that's kind of crappy too. And the only really great thing about it is the sauce on it. I don't know. I'm surprised they're still in business. I wouldn't be shocked if they make some radical changes, like if that's the first of the fast food restaurants to disappear at some point.
It's one of those things where it's like, there's nothing about the place that's like, oh, well, Burger King has the best that you can only go there for that. Like, McDonald's has the best fries. I would argue Wendy's has the best burgers. I would say probably either KFC or Popeyes has the best chicken sandwich at this point. There's nothing to go to Burger King for.
I hate to say it, and we were talking earlier about them. I still think Chick-fil-A has the best chicken sandwich. I've compared them to Popeyes, but no, I still say Chick-fil-A is probably the best one. But anyway.
It's possible. I'll admit, the time I actually tried that crispy chicken sandwich, I almost choked because the breading was just so much breading. It was like, I bought into it, and it's like, it's so crumbly. It's like, was there any chicken in this bite? And then it's like, because of my tonsils, it's like the breading is just like forcing itself down, and it's like, I'm choking it down.
You probably got one with a lot of breading, because almost anytime I go there, I get one with a nice juicy chicken on it. And actually, chicken sandwiches, I find like you can go a lot of places for them. I don't actually like KFC's that much. I prefer Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, which obviously we don't. Anyway, nothing else about Chick-fil-A. And Wendy's has a good chicken sandwich.
I'm telling you, you need to try KFC. KFC, you'd be sleeping on if you just thought they would just fry chicken.
I did. I tried it a few days ago. I got sick off of it.
I can't. Just obviously we have two different bodies, but Jesus.
Also, I don't know if it's just the KFCs I go to, because sometimes you go to KFC and you get wonderful food, and you go to another KFC and it's like they did not give one damn about any of the food in the restaurant. I remember when I was a kid, I used to love their honey barbecue chicken wings, which they would actually cook it in the sauce. Mm-hmm. And they still have that sauce too, which is delicious. I love that honey mustard barbecue sauce. But I ordered a chicken sandwich with that sauce, and I'm expecting like, oh, they're going to cook it in the sauce. It's going to be so delicious. They just piled it on top of the chicken sandwich, and I'm just there with this messy, saucy chicken sandwich. And then I ate it, and it's like, yeah, this was not good. I wish I just went someplace else. There was a Popeyes in the way. I should have gotten to Popeyes.
You sounded so sad when you said that about the sandwich. It's like, I'm just here with this poor sandwich.
It was a very sad honey barbecue chicken sandwich from KFC. And again, I think what my experience with KFC is where you go. It's like some of them are good, some are bad. One of my favorite ones I had gone to, which was the one in East Brunswick. I forget what I wanted. I think I wanted chicken fingers, but I wanted it drowned in that sauce, and that was not on the menu item. And I was like, any chance can I get those cooked in the honey barbecue sauce? Like, of course you can. And they made them fresh for me with the honey bar, and it was delicious. I tried to do that same thing at another KFC, the one in Woodbridge here in New Jersey. They didn't have it. It's like, we ain't doing that. Screw you.
Well, again, it goes back to the idea of franchising. You know, chances are some locations are better equipped or are better trained to do that sort of stuff. Other places, maybe not so much.
Yeah, it's true too. It's a lot of restaurants go by who owns that franchise. Sometimes you go to McDonald's and it's wonderful, and sometimes you go to a McDonald's like, oh my God, I feel like Obama's going to fall in this place.
But I do want to step away from franchises for a bit, because I feel like a lot of our food experience, we've gone ahead and we've talked about the places that are practically everywhere. But I did want to maybe touch on some things that are a little bit more uniquely us, you know. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to pose a question to you, JT. What are your 3 favorite foods and your 3 favorite drinks? It can be alcoholic, non-alcoholic, by the way. It doesn't have to, be one or the other.
Oh, come on. I'm a fat man. That's like asking a TV addict, what's your 3 favorite TV shows? Well,
then just the first 3 that come to mind.
All right. I'm a big fan of chili dogs. I'm a big fan of sandwiches, subs, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
And chicken fingers. I'm a big fan of chicken fingers.
See, the chili dog is surprising to me.
Really? That's been a staple of me and my family's diet for years.
Really? Like your family makes them on a regular, or?
Not on a regular, but yeah, I'd say like quite often we enjoy like hot dogs, chili dogs, etc.
Now, this has nothing to do with your Sonic the Hedgehog fandom or anything like that, does it?
No, not at all.
Okay.
No. I could even go through like different places that we tend to go to, from J&J's in Dunellen to, oh God, is it actually J&J's now? I can't think if it's J&J's or J&R. Oh, for years my family just called it Texas Weiners because that was the big sign in the front, but it actually has like a official name to it. Coney Island, which is in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Which no, we did not drive just to Scranton, Pennsylvania for their hot dogs, but my family originally came from there, and that was always a stop. Hot Dog Johnny's, which isn't the greatest in the world, but like I was talking about before, some places you go out of the way for because you just don't get it that often, and Hot Dog Johnny's is one of those. I'm trying to think what other places. Those are tending to be like my top 3 of ones not named Storts or Nathan's.
No, but it's surprising because like you don't see too much popularity, I guess, for the chili dog, because you don't see as much popularity for the hot dog nowadays. Like the hot dog itself seems like one of the most vilified foods, just because people are like, what's in a hot dog? And it's like, you don't want to know what's in a hot dog.
No, hot dogs cause cancer. I'm not even going to lie about that. They're one of my favorite foods, and they cause cancer. By the way, mustard is actually known to attack cancerous cells. So if you put mustard on a hot dog, you might be helping yourself a little bit.
So what, the mustard counteracts the cancer in the hot dog?
And that's what I believe in my mind, and that's what allows me to keep enjoying hot dogs.
So then you put mustard on your chili dogs?
Yes. Yeah, I put mustard on a chili dog. You don't put mustard on a chili dog?
No, if you get a chili dog, it's a chili dog. I mean, why go ahead and like add more on top of it?
No. It's well, that's a chili dog. Chili dog is mustard, chili, and onions.
Well, see, then there must be different places that, would do different things. To me, a chili dog would just be the chili, which is like, meat and bean oriented, on top of the dog. Whether or not you get the onions or whether or not you get, anything else, that's you do it yourself.
Yeah. By the way, I do not get bean chili. I don't. Not that I hate bean chili, but not on my hot dog. But no. It's I always knew a lot of places I go, that's how they make them, especially Coney Island. Coney Island is actually, they're like mini hot dogs, which they cut in half. They put them on a smaller bun. It's almost like double the size of a Wendy's hamburger bun.
Okay.
You slather some mustard on that. You put some chili on that. You sprinkle some onions on it. You put it in the microwave for like 10 seconds just to steam the bun, or you steam the bun while you're cooking it and put it on the hot dog. And it's delicious.
Wow. Okay. All right. I would try it. I would try it. And like the other stuff, that kind of made sense. Like the sandwiches, obviously, you were talking about the subs and everything, and the fingers, but chili dogs, surprising.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed, honestly, because
Like
I've never seen you have one.
I'm a little picky about it. It's usually I'll get it if I'm at a place that I trust with their hot dogs. Because again, they're sometimes a hot dog can taste pretty awful. I don't like boiled hot dogs. I like them grilled.
Fair.
And like I said, I should look them up because I'm like, are they J&R, J&B, J&J? Oh, by the way, Texas Weiners. I that's the other thing I like about chili dogs. They have so many different names for it.
Well, I mean, the chili dog is just the chili dog. I mean, I thought Texas Wiener was just like a rather extra large hot dog in itself, like the footlongs.
No. Well, I always use them interchangeably. I'd call either a chili dog or a Texas Wiener, but you're probably right. Texas Wieners might actually be a bit bigger. And specifically the place that I go, if you ever want to check it out and you're in New Jersey and you're not too far away from Denellen, J&G Texas Wieners. It's actually a walking distance from 8 on the Break, which is arcade in Denellen. So if you're ever down there for the arcade or anything else, check them out. They're a small little place, but I love their hot dogs. They're delicious.
All right. Worth a check out. Now, what about drink-wise, though?
Drink-wise, now here's the thing you got to know about me. I'm Irish, but I'm not a big alcoholic. So it's like, if you're going to ask me like, oh, what's your favorite alcoholic beverages? I really don't have any.
Again, I did preface, it doesn't have to necessarily be alcoholic.
All right. So if we're sticking away from alcohol, because again, I'm not a big drinker. Blue Moon is probably the only one really even on the list. I like Coca-Cola. You know what's funny? It's I like Coke. I don't really like Pepsi. And my family's the opposite, where my mom absolutely loves Pepsi but hates Coke. So it's a weird thing with us. I like Coca-Cola. I like Snapple iced tea, and I like orange soda. Just like Cal, I like orange soda.
Again, something I wouldn't have figured. Like I figured, like, as for like, if you said like Coca-Cola, I was like, that's your soda choice. Okay, I get that. But like orange soda out of all of them, like
Sunkist. And Sunkist is probably my favorite, though. A lot of them taste the same, but something about Sunkist to me just a little different. But I think it might be in the same way that you treat your shore food. I think maybe the name just mixes with me better than like Slice or Fantasia or whatever those other
Fantasia,
whatever the hell it's called.
Fanta,
yeah.
Fantasia. I can just imagine like the bottle with like a little Sorcerer Mickey hat on top or something.
Make it. If you're an artist, make it. We'll put it on the show.
Wanna Fantasia? Don't you wanna?
I don't know. And there's probably some other drinks out there, but those are the three that come to me. It's like I'll instantly drink a Coca-Cola or an iced tea and an orange soda.
All right, fair enough. Well, I guess.
Oh,
what?
I was actually gonna say I was gonna say something in regards to sandwiches too, and now I can't remember what it was. Yeah, let me if I could steal 2 more minutes. 2 of my favorite sandwich places. That's where I was trying to go to with Anthony Bourdain a little earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Speak Eatery in Asbury Park. It is in fairness, it's a Chicago-based sub shop, but it's located in Asbury Park, New Jersey. They do, though, make wonderful sandwiches. In fact, my friends are kind of in a feud with them, and I still hide from my friends to go there because I like their sandwiches.
You backstabbing bastard.
Not to say that the people of Speak Eatery aren't bastards themselves. Like, I will say this. I will both promote them and warn you against them at the same time. I love their food. If you're ever in Asbury Park, try them out. But at the same time, if they say, and do you want fries with that? Just note that is not saying fries come with the sandwiches. They don't. Just a, who when you order food, oh no, now I remember what it was. When you order food and they say something around the lines of, do you want chips or fries, do you automatically assume that it's coming with the meal?
Well, no, but I'm also looking at the menu and I'm seeing what is listed, and if it doesn't say anything comes with it, then I assume that it's just a la carte, that it's by
I
itself.
I'm of the impression, and I think a lot of the people are the same way, that if you're ordering food from someone, they instantly say, "Do you want fries or chips?" and doesn't say anything around giving you a different option for that. They just say it like assuming it comes with it. My assumption would be it comes with it. That is not the case. It is extra. So for the people stupid like me who instantly assume when someone says that it comes with the meal, just know it doesn't come with the meal. just a heads up.
Okay, all right, that's fair. That's fair. If they don't do anything to preface that it's an additional item, and they're just saying, "Do you want this or this?" Not saying, "Oh, well, neither of these come with it, but do you want this or this?" That's tricky. Having been a waiter, I can understand that some people might get pissed about that. On the other hand, looking at it from the other perspective, it's a great way to turn up the money, and you are assuming that they've gone ahead and read the menu and they know what is
No,
included and what is not with their purchase.
you are not going ahead and assuming they read the menu. You are trying to trick them into in spending extra money. Like you do not preference that. If you actually thought that, then you would actually say, you do know it doesn't come with this, right? No. That's people trying to rip you off. Like I said, good food, but no, that's no. And one other food place I will mention, if you're ever in the Red Bank area, I love the Cheese Cave. Now, the Cheese Cave is primarily towards fancy cheeses and stuff, but they do make a few sandwiches, and I love their roast beef sandwich called the Roast Beast. It is freshly made roast beef with
Okay, Doctor Seuss.
yeah. With their fresh delicacy cheese and cream sauce, and I love it. That is one of my favorite sandwiches. I've in fairness, I've had some people who I've told to try that sandwich and they didn't like it as much as me, but me personally, liking cheese, liking roast beast, I keep saying that now. I think it is a great sandwich, and if you like roast beef, give it a shot.
You're a hungry one, Mr. Grinch.
Yes. All right, I'm done. I can keep talking about food, but I'm done.
No, but that's why it's such a good topic, because you
Yeah.
can talk about it for like ever if you wanted to. But
I yield the floor to you.
all right. So I guess since I posed the question, it's only fair for me to go ahead and mention mine. Um, I guess food wise, wings definitely are a must. Wings would be one. Um, a second one. It wouldn't necessarily have to be like the sandwiches that I had ordered, but certainly like the breakfast sandwich, like regardless of what's inside of it. It's just, I'm fascinated by it. And the
So
third, I guess, would probably have to be cheesesteaks. Definitely cheesesteaks. Uh, but and I say that knowing that I'm so picky when it comes to that sort of stuff. Like I'm not the ones that get like the onions and the peppers and all that sort of thing. I focus more on like the simplistics of it. Like as long as it's a good just meat and cheese, maybe mushrooms, maybe, but as long as it's just good meat and cheese on the bun like that, and it's cooked well and it's sliced up well, and they use the right cheese, because I'm very picky about the cheese more so than anything else. Those would be the ones I go for more so than other sandwiches, I'd say, as far as like chicken or burgers or any of that other stuff, because I mean that's all still typical. But to do a cheesesteak, I think takes a little bit more skill.
So let me ask you this, because you're a cheesesteak connoisseur.
Yes.
I know we're trying to talk about like mom and pop shops, but if we go back to franchises real quick, what do you think of Charlie cheesesteaks?
Charlie's, which of course I have had because they were in the Menlo Park Mall, if no place else. They're okay. I don't think the meat is flavored enough for my liking, if that makes sense.
And what
It's
you mean?
almost
Do you
to the
like
point of
certain
being
spices
bland.
and stuff?
Yeah, because that's the thing. It's like people that just go ahead and they like slice up the meat and they put it on the grill without actually putting any seasoning or care into it. It's never gonna go well for me. At least I like take the Midway, like I mentioned, for example. They use like the simple steakum stuff. Yes, it's a simple meat. But the flavoring that they use, whether it's on the grill or added, that just adds something to it. Plus, they use Cheese Whiz. And Cheese Whiz is going to win me over on that thing every time. That's
I think
why I like going to places like Geno's if I really wanted to go ahead and have an excursion.
I want to take back the connoisseur comment there about with the Cheez It line.
Oh, what? Oh, you're going to tell me Whiz is bad?
It's canned cheese.
Exactly. Which means it doesn't necessarily overtake the meat in any way. Canned cheese has a very particular flavor, but it meshes so well when pressed up against the bun and the meat, and it allows more of the flavoring of the meat to come through.
I don't know. Well, again, I'm a big chili dog fan, and I can have my little things there. I guess with someone who's really into their cheesesteaks, you know what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah, and I mind you, I'm not exactly upset with like certain variations of it. Like there's the pizza cheesesteak with like the marinara sauce and it has to be mozzarella. You put provolone on that shit, I ain't gonna buy it.
Okay, maybe I'm going to use a very poor example. I probably shouldn't even bring it up, but I'm already in mid sentence, so I have to now. What did you think about the grease truck sandwiches? Because really, they're not good cheesesteaks at all. They're like Steakums frozen cheesesteaks, but
Oh, I really hate to say this, and I really hate to say this both as a man, as a New Jersey resident, as someone who enjoys that kind of food to some extent. I've never been to the grease trucks.
really, you've
Yeah,
never tried the grease truck, and you're not that far away from them either. You're probably maybe 20-30 minute drive.
I know, but it was one of those things where it's like I never learned their location. I never talked to anyone that was ever on their way or going. So I was like, oh, well, let me tag along. And I never frequented the area enough to be like, well, hey, that's an option.
Huh.
So, yes, when the grease trucks were the most prominent, and before everyone else started adapting a fat sandwich of their own in order to, like, keep up with the Joneses in a sense, I never experienced the original.
It's a shame. It really wasn't the greatest. And if you're a big cheesesteak fan, I'm pretty sure you weren't going to have the best positive stuff to say about it. The biggest thing about them was that they just jammed so much food on a giant sub roll. But
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, from my understanding, you wouldn't go there to get like a cheesesteak sandwich. You would go there because you were drunk and you needed something in your body. All right, that food serves a whole different purpose than, say, someone who wants a cheesesteak.
I've actually never eaten there drunk, but I've done that for celebrations and stuff where I've gone there because I like the fact that it's a unique taste mixing all those food onto one sandwich. Like I used to get a few different ones and they had unique names. I'm going to try to use the proper names so they are not the non-proper names. So we're not really saying anything we shouldn't hear.
I mean, we've sworn before, considering, but I mean, the one that comes to mind automatically is the fat bitch.
Well, mine was all right, I'll use the proper names. My favorite was called the Fat Fellatio. See, that's why I was going to use a different name. I remember for a while they changed the names because someone complained about them. So the Fat Bitch became the Fat Beach. Mine became the Fat Fella, which doesn't really sound much better than a fat fellatio. But
yeah, well, one you hope to get, the other one is what you end up with afterwards.
well, anyway, so that the sandwich I liked, it was cheesesteak and chicken fingers mixed with honey honey mustard sauce, and it was like a liquidy honey mustard sauce, and it fits so well, and it like absorbed into the chicken, and you topple that off with some fries. And then I also like the fat BTZ, which are ZBT. It's one of the things that are there, the fraternities. But that one was like chicken fingers, cheesesteak, barbecue, drowned in barbecue sauce, mozzarella sticks, French fries, and honey mustard sauce. And that was maybe not the honey mustard sauce, but anyway, it was delicious.
Yeah, see, I think that's why I was not necessarily drawn to them as much as I would have expected, because I think the popularity of some of those sandwiches was that you were able to cram a lot of them in there. And the reason you were able to cram a lot of them in there is because the kind of food that they used was the kind of stuff that you would get at like a school cafeteria, whether it was the mozzarella sticks or the chicken tenders or the French fries. It was all the same kind of product that you'd be able to get as if you had like a campus dining card.
Right.
So,
That's because it was pretty much a campus dining cart. It was a fast food truck that had fast food in it. And one night someone said, "Can you just take all your food and jam it onto one sandwich?" And that's how that craze was born.
yeah, like I would probably be more adapt to trying something like that if the ingredients themselves were a little bit more unique or a little bit more nuanced. Like, let me give you an example. All right, so say we start off with like a cheesesteak, like saying the Midway. We use the Midway cheesesteak. For chicken tenders, we use the tenders that you'd get at like a Buffalo Wild Wings, maybe like dipped in a sauce.
Maybe a high ball on
For French fries, we put in McDonald's French fries. For mozzarella sticks, let's go to like a traditional Italian restaurant and use like one of those as opposed to just, the kind you would get at Applebee's or something like that.
Can I rewind? Can I rewind real quick?
Sure.
I was going to wait off on this, but now I have to kind of go back a little bit. Why do you think McDonald's French fries are the best French fries? Because they're small and skinny and soggy every time I get them.
I don't necessarily find them all. I mean, compared to like other French fries, it's either the flavoring or it's when they do crunch, they crunch so good. Like, you compare them to other places. Now, first of all, lots of places have different fries. Obviously, the Cajun fries that you get at like a Checkers, significantly different. But if I compared them to like McDonald's, certainly, I'm not saying they're necessarily the best. What I am saying is that McDonald's French fries are the most unique. Like, when you taste them, you know it's theirs. And that's why I'm trying to combine like these different elements into this particular sandwich. If the ingredients taste like the ingredients of every place else, then I don't care. But if you hand built a fat sandwich using unique places, then I'd be interested.
Well, I think the build is unique in itself because until like everyone else stole the idea, no one else was really doing that where they're jamming all those ingredients onto one sandwich. That
Right, but then
was a
that's the
unique
thing.
idea.
That creates a certain taste, but that also fills a certain need for people that just want to gorge. If I want something like that, yeah, okay, I'm in the mentality that it may not even matter what's in it. I just need something that big to fill me up. But if I wanted to make really enjoy it, then yeah, I'm gonna hand pick the ingredients properly.
I still can't. I still can't get over McDonald's fries.
I understand, and I'm not saying they're like the best fries. They're just probably the best fast food fries.
I
Certainly,
wouldn't
there
even
are
say
fries
that.
that are better than McDonald's fries.
I kind of like Wendy's more.
Wendy's, I find too salty.
I actually like Burger King fries. It's one of the few items Burger King does give that I actually do enjoy.
Burger King fries always seem undercooked to me, like every time.
Really, the ones I get always seem very crispy, and that's kind of one of the things I like about them. They seem more crispy and more seasoned than the others.
No, they always taste like. I'm not saying they're not full of potato. They're plumped fries, but it just never feels like they crisped up enough. If that makes sense.
And
But you
I
know who
like
has good
Popeye's
fries?
fries. Huh?
Any place that does crinkle cut fries,
Yes.
those are always good. You can't fuck up a crinkle cut.
And it's actually Storts. I like Storts fries because they're crinkle cuts.
Stewart's and Nathan's
And Nathan's
relatively are
too.
the
Yeah.
same.
I don't like Nathan's as much though. I think Storts gives good ones, and Nathan's once in a while I'll get good. Hey, you know what? Yeah, I guess they're around the same. I don't know. I just had a lot of bad luck with Storts and fries, or not Nathan's and fries.
It just kind of reminds me of like Steven Universe. Like you know how he goes to like that fry place and he goes, "Give me the bits."
Yeah.
I always imagine the bits are off of crinkle cut fries because it just feels like those were the ones that would have the bits.
Speaking of fries, KFC is now giving out fries again. They're getting rid of
They're
their uh,
wedges.
their wedges, which I always liked their wedges, so I kind of feel sad about that.
Again, the wedges are they're in the same lane as like the Burger King fries, where it's like sometimes they're okay, but a lot of the times they're just so overplumped that they don't feel like they were cooked all the way.
Well, yeah, too. They do taste a little more raw, so I could see that. But I don't know. It's a kind of a unique taste to them.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
mean I would definitely say keep the seasoning if nothing else. If you're gonna go with fries, fine, but keep the seasoning because I think that helps it more so than anything else. Because really, the only other thing on par with that would be like Checkers with the Cajun fries, and I can't think of a single place that does that.
I'm gonna jump back to cheesesteaks real quick. And again, you're gonna see how much of how big I am on cheesesteaks because, like, I do like
I didn't even get
cheesesteaks.
to my drinks yet. It's like I love how my food is like causing so much commotion.
No, I got things I just want to kind of ask and bring up. But
All right.
with cheesesteaks, I guess I'm all over the place. A cheesesteak is a cheesesteak to me, but I do have my favorite places I tend to go from Midway to I like Charlie cheesesteaks. One of the places that I like getting cheesesteaks from, but I guess to someone like you might not enjoy. So I just wanted to get your opinion of it. What do you think of a break steak? And what I mean by break steak is a cheesesteak that comes from 8 on the Breaks from Danella, New Jersey.
Never had it.
Really?
Never even heard of the place.
So 8 on the Breaks is a video game arcade, one of the last ones here in New Jersey. And they have a built-in dining area, and they serve something called a break steak. Now it's nothing really overly special. It is just it's a frozen cheesesteak thrown on a grill and put on a bun with some onions and some ketchup or barbecue sauce. But the unique thing that why people like it so much is it comes with fries and a drink for all of it together for $4.
Ooh, that's a good deal.
But it's a tradition for a lot of people, especially if you're a gamer and you're from the Central Jersey area. So I wanted to get your opinion, but I guess you never got the chance to try it.
No, I mean I know there's some places in Dunellen that are good, but I've just never really been to Dunellen. So it's one of those things where if I ever get to the chance to go to the town, I'll certainly try it out. But for a cheesesteak, fries, and a drink for $4, and considering cheesesteaks themselves are usually like bigger than most sandwiches compared to
Mm-hmm.
like your hot dogs or your burgers or stuff like that, that does seem like a sweet deal. Like I might, even if the steak is basic, I think the low cost may balance it out a bit because in my mind I'm going to be thinking, oh well, this is just $4. This is actually less than $4 because it's a third of the meal, and so I'm going to be already downplaying the taste of it. So if it tastes better than expected, I'll be happy.
And it is a full size cheesesteak too. So it's like that. I think that's what gets to a lot of people. It's cheaper than most cheesesteaks, plus it comes with fries and a drink, and it's still a full size sandwich.
Yeah, value over everything, of course. If as long as it feels like you're getting your money's worth with what you're eating, like it's the opposite. Like if you paid like $20 for like a steak at Applebee's, it's like no, there's no point for that.
Mm-hmm. All right.
But I'll try it. I will certainly try it.
Now I could keep going on about cheesesteaks, but I think you want to talk about your drinks at this point. So I'll let you.
Well, I
What are
did
your
kind
favorite
of want to
drinks?
finish up with the food stuff because I wanted to shout out a couple of places. Mostly because like the way you did about like where you could go, where you could try that. Going back to the breakfast sandwiches, I don't think I actually gave them a proper shout out when I had the two delivered on the last episode, and I did want to shout out the place, Just Plain Dave's, here in Rahway, New Jersey, which is a nice little privately owned eatery. Very artistic in some of their stuff when it comes to their entrees. They've got great desserts, great chicken and waffles when I feel inclined to really like have a breakfast that's going to kill me. But their sandwich that I got, it's called the Boss Hog, which for me as a television person, I love that name just because it automatically goes back to Dukes of Hazzard. But the Boss Hog itself is basically you choose your bread, you choose your meat that you want, you choose the style that you want the eggs to be done in. You can choose all different like condiments. I usually go salt, pepper, ketchup, keep it nice and simple. And it's the meat, the cheese, the egg, a hash brown, a full hash brown patty on top of the damn thing, and any bread you want. It's just so universally acceptable to get a Boss Hog because you can customize it any way you want. It's not like the standard Egg McMuffin where it's just like you get that and that's it.
I'm surprised more places don't do that style where they put a hash brown on top of the egg sandwich, because I've only known one or two places to do it and it's delicious. Like there should be more places putting hash browns on top of egg sandwiches.
Yeah, especially if you do it to the point where the hash brown is crispy. Like if you get that crisp in it when everything else is going to be soft and fluffy. It's like having bacon but not having bacon just because of the feel of it. Although you can get bacon and the hash brown, and then it's like a double crunch fiesta. But yeah, I would definitely recommend checking them out at any time. And as far as wings, I do enjoy Buffalo Wild Wings. That's how I really got into it first, because I got into it in college, and there was the Buffalo Wild Wings there on campus where I'd go and watch all my wrestling events. So I'd go there every Sunday when there was one. I'd load up on those and the buffalo chips with cheese and all that good stuff. But there is a little more of a hole-in-the-wall place in Cranford called Little Buffalo. This place made me cry.
Made you cry?
Yes. I tried. They're hot. They don't have as many sauces as, say, Buffalo Wild Wings. So if you want unique flavors, go to Buffalo Wild Wings, sure. But if you want, like, real buffalo wings, like hot buffalo wings, Little Buffalo will definitely go ahead. It's definitely got more of a Boston sort of feel to, or a Buffalo sort of feel to it, like a more northern feel in regards to the food that they offer. But their wings, their hot sauce, I'm a strong man. I've had enough sauces in my time to know what works and what doesn't. And this is just supposed to be like their simple hot sauce. I was tearing up to the point that my lips were burning. Whatever salt they put on the wings or what in the sauce, it hurt. It was a thrill. I know that sounds bad, but the wing sauce gave me that much of a thrill. So I would automatically recommend them if you want to go ahead and take the chance. It's not one of those places where it's like you have to go ahead and sign the waiver to eat the wing. Don't think of it like that. I'm saying their even most basic sauce will knock you on your ground.
Wow. You know what? That is an item on my list. I think I just said chicken fingers in general, but I like chicken wings too. It is hard to find a good standalone buffalo wing place. And what I mean by that is someplace that's not a franchise like Buffalo Wild Wings or Wingstop. So
I can't necessarily say it's not a chain, but I know it's pretty much the only one in this area.
I remember as a kid there was a place, and it's been out of business for almost 30 years at this point, but Chili Willie's, or I think it was called Chili Willie's in New Brunswick, used to have amazing buffalo wings.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's like, you know, if you find that place with like a place that specializes in it and you find some delicious stuff. I think the last time I found anything that's really good was in Pennsylvania, and unfortunately I can't remember the name of it right now. But what was the name of this one again in Cranford?
Little Buffalo.
Little Buffalo. So
and I think part of the uniqueness of it is that it's not always open.
Really?
Yes. Now, I'm not trying to downplay the place or anything like that, but there are times when I've gone by at, like, you know, rush hour during the day. I've passed by the place because it's right next to the movie theater that's there in Cranford too. And it's one of those little hole-in-the-wall sort of like mini mall places where it's like you walk in and there's maybe like 2-3 tables because that's all it can fit, and the rest of it is just the kitchen. You will not necessarily see the place like lit up or opened up or anything like that, even during rush hour during the day. I don't know if it's because they're maybe low on staff or simply because maybe they personally work more on deliveries, so they only stay open for like delivery times as opposed to like actually in-room seating. But I've gone in and I've eaten, and it when you get there, if you can get it, it's a unique feeling. It's a specialized feeling. It's like, yes, I'm finally here. I'm finally going to try it. And then your eyes burn out.
It's like, I'm finally here. Now kill me.
Yes. If there was a way to go, that would be it.
And before you move on to drinks, I wanted to backtrack because you talked about egg sandwiches too. You know what Jersey is a big thing about pork roll and egg sandwiches. That's our specialty.
Taylor ham.
This is pork roll and egg.
Ham.
Pork roll and egg.
Taylor
so
ham.
anyway,
I will fight you. Don't think I won't.
But it's called pork roll. Anyway, it's hard to really find a good place for a pork roll and egg. No, you normally go to like a deli or something like that, and I have mine. You have yours. We're obviously talking about yours with the customized sandwiches, which I think I need to try at some point too. Will they kill me when I walk in there and I say pork roll? Anyway, don't answer that.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. I'm just.
And there are some other good places in New Jersey. The White Diamond, which is not too far away from you either, is known pretty for pork roll and egg sandwiches.
White Diamond or White Rose, they're basically the same. Yeah.
Well, no. Because I was going to bring up White Rose too, and the White Diamond and the White Rose pork roll and egg sandwich are actually quite different. I would say the White Diamond has a standard pork roll and egg like you would get from most delis, and it has the same taste to it. White Rose has the most unique taste of any pork roll and egg sandwich I've ever had, to the point that I would say when I first started eating it, I hated it because it tasted so different. And now it is, because it's such a unique taste, it's my favorite. It's the one I always want to eat now. And I'll tell you why it's unique, because whereas everyone else cleans their goddamn grill, White Rose doesn't. They cook that pork roll and egg.
Yes, good.
They cook that pork roll and egg right on the same grill that they just cooked hamburgers off of, because they're a 24/7 diner and it's a small grill.
You're hearing the kids in the backyard. Yeah.
Yes, I do. So I think that the White Rose has this sort of meat grease to it from the burgers that kind of combine with the egg and the pork roll and the bun. And I don't know why, but it's delicious. Like, I will go out of my way for, and it's expensive too. It's like most pork roll and eggs are like $2 to $3. This one's like $5. I'm like, son of a, but I love them. And you could get it because they're pretty much 24/7 except for Sundays. You can get it just about any time.
Fair enough. I mean, I do have to say that the ones from Just Plain Dave's, they're probably around the same pricing, like $5-6. But again, with the customization aspect, and there's really like no extra charge for a lot of it makes sense. So I'm not gonna fault it on that. Now, yes, while we're having the children play in the backyard, not mine. Let me get to liquor and stuff of that nature. So, as far as drinks, liquor-wise, I'm a whiskey guy. I think we've firmly established that on the show here. Non-liquor-wise, I would take Pepsi over Coke. Absolutely. And I think that's just personal experience growing up in college on a campus where they had a contract with Coca-Cola. So it's like every place that you could get food on the campus and the student areas and the vending machines, it was all Coke. So Pepsi was like a rare commodity. I think that's why I developed the taste for it.
Okay, so I was going to ask you why you choose Pepsi over Coke. I'm not disagreeing with that, because I know a lot of people who choose either Pepsi over Coke or Coke over Pepsi. But do you think probably it's because you haven't had it as much as Coca-Cola?
That, and I think because of that, after a while, I think if you have both to a certain degree, you can really make the distinction about the taste of them.
Yes.
With Coke, Coke is just heavily syrupy in comparison to Pepsi. And I think if you need like that jolt of sugar, not saying, there's because there's also a soda named Jolt, but if you need that really like, that swift kick of sugary goodness that you get from like a cola, then okay, go for the Coke. But if you want something that you can have casually, that you can, sip and enjoy, that even when it goes flat, it's still better than the other one going flat, then you go with your Pepsi.
I, to a certain degree, disagree with you, at least on the last sentence that you said. I like Coke for the opposite. So I like the syrupy taste. I like the fact that it's a bit sweeter than Pepsi, whereas Pepsi, it tastes a little more bitter to me, and maybe that's because again it doesn't have the same amount of syrup, the same amount of sugar. But it's also the reason I hate flat Pepsi. I think flat Pepsi tastes awful to me. I know people who will actually not only enjoy flat Pepsi, but have actually watered down their Pepsi. Don't ask me why they do this, but for some reason it tastes great to them. I can't stand Pepsi like that. I love though Coke. I can drink flat Coke because it still tastes like a sweet drink to me.
Right. And now don't get me wrong, like if I go ahead and I was getting like a Jack and Coke, then I would probably prefer it to be used in Coke than Pepsi, because Pepsi, like I said, it's a much more casual, much more, anytime sort of soda. But with Coke, if you're going to go ahead and mix it with the whiskey and then you're going to water it down with the ice, it makes more sense that way, because then not only does it maybe like blend better with the whiskey, but it also overpowers the whiskey to a certain extent where it's not going to be so jarring. With
Right.
Pepsi and Coke, you taste, not with Pepsi and Coke, with Pepsi and whiskey, you taste the whiskey more.
Because
And maybe it's a little more offsetting.
Whiskey's a little more powerful, a little more bitter. So yeah, the sweetness of the Coke you'll probably mix better than the sweetness of the Pepsi.
Yeah, but if I was going to have a cola on its own, definitely Pepsi. However, I would not even say that is my my kryptonite, my go-to drink, my fiend that I would go to.
Your fiend.
Yes. Mine is Arnold Palmer.
Really?
Oh yeah. That iced tea lemonade mixture, especially, I mean, other places do it well, but the Arizona Arnold Palmer Light, which, mind you, I've never seen the regular Arnold Palmer that Arizona puts out. I don't know if there is a regular sugar one, but it's either the Light, which offers like a third less, or there's the Zero, which is like completely sugar-free.
There's also a pink one.
There is also a pink one too, but I've never seen a regular Arnold Palmer from them. So I don't even know if that even exists. But
I believe there is, because I remember when I was in college, I used to drink Arizona Arnold Palmers, and I don't think they had this customized ones at that point. I think it was just Arnold Palmer.
Right, but you're not talking about like the black and white can, are you?
Yeah, the black and white one.
Yeah, that's light.
That's just light?
Yeah, if you actually look at the label, it says Arnold Palmer Light, now with a third less sugar.
Well, I'm also talking about 14 years ago.
So I don't know if maybe the light is just the new normal, but that's the one that I always see getting sold.
I think it didn't used to have light on the label, at least when I used to drink it on a regular basis. But yeah, I agree with you. Arnold Palmers are pretty awesome.
I mean, I know a lot of people would see it as maybe just more of like a summertime drink, like one of those things that you go ahead and you mix up in one of those pitchers for like a cookout in the backyard, that sort of thing. But me, that it's crack. If I really am fiending for it, I will get like 3 cans. And that's the perfect thing about it, because they're always like 99 cents. They're always cheap for those tall boy cans that are taller than anything you can get soda wise. And yeah, there are times when I've gotten like the whole like half-gallon jugs, and
really?
I've polished it off in 2 days. I'm like, I'm not necessarily proud of it, but if you offer it to me as opposed to anything, you could offer me a friggin' milkshake, but if you offer me the tea, I'm going for the tea.
Well, it's I don't disagree with you. Well, I don't know why. It's your likes. Why would I disagree with your likes? But
I don't know.
I'm a big fan of. I mentioned in my drinks, I'm a big fan of iced tea too, and actually one of my favorites is the Arnold Palmer. I think for me though, sometimes the lemonade is a little too sweet for me, so I prefer like Snapple's lemon iced tea, which is tastes similar, but it's a lot weaker on the lemonade side. But
Snapple's
yeah,
okay. You know who else is good? Wawa. Wawa does a decent one.
really.
Yeah, Wawa's is all right. I wouldn't necessarily suggest 7-Elevens because I think 7-Elevens is too sweet.
Back in the day, I remember my favorite was Lipton, and I'm not talking about brisk. I'm talking about original Lipton iced tea, like
Like out of the
getting
big yellow canister Lipton.
the one that used to come in like the milk carton.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are that used to be one of my favorites as a kid. Brisk always had a chemical taste to it. I always hated brisk.
And especially when it has like that white foam at the top. If like you're pouring it or you're opening it, it's like there shouldn't be a foam.
No, there shouldn't. There was something wrong with brisk. I'll admit, I drank it when I was in high school because it was one of the few soda or sugary drinks they offered in my high school. But there was something wrong with brisk iced tea.
And now you look at them and you just go into stores and you see brisk. There's brisk, all different flavors. It's like it's just become its own brand, brisk. It's like no one even knows what the fuck Lipton is.
Yeah, to the point that, like I said, yeah, they moved away from their original Lipton iced tea, and now they're all about the brisk. And I really wish it went the opposite direction because I think the original was much better.
Oh, absolutely. Um, so I don't know how much time we have left, but I did kind of want to like veer away just to give an alternative. We talked about what we liked as far as food wise, but
Mhm.
obviously any person that goes ahead and has their favorites obviously has their things that they hate, that they cannot stomach, that if they even smell it or they even think about it being on their food, they're obviously disgusted. What are your three I will not fuck with foods or drinks or
Well,
any of that? Could be either one.
well, we are running late, so unfortunately, I don't think we could do three, either one of us.
Okay, then just one.
Um,
One? Can I get one?
yeah, I'll
Okay.
give you one. And actually, should I give this one? I like a lot of food. There's very few foods that I will not eat, and I can't even really think of one off the top of my head I hate. But unfortunately, I'm giving away a weakness here. But there's one I can't eat because I'm allergic to peanuts, and it kills me because so many things come with peanut butter, and I wish I could enjoy peanut butter, and I can't. If I eat, I'll put it this way. You know what peanut butter tastes like to me? It tastes
What?
like tingling
It
because
tastes like burning. No.
I don't even get a taste. The minute it touches my mouth, my tongue swells up, my lips swell up. It just tastes like tingling. So
Oh.
it's like it's one. So I don't know how what other people taste when they taste peanut butter. I wish I could get that feeling, but I can't. So it's on my list just because I have to avoid it.
Well, see, I don't know if that necessarily counts though, because that's more circumstantial. It's not something that you honestly detest. It's something that you can't even fully experience whether or not you want it to.
True, but it's one of those things too that like it ruins food for me. There's a lot of things I can't eat. I remember being at a friend's barbecue once, and they had these pork on stick thing that they were making, and it had a special sauce on it. I didn't even know at the time. And so I'm like just eating different things there, and suddenly I start getting that feeling. And I think there was some fish there, and I asked the host, like, did you cook that in peanut oil? Like, no, but the beef sticks that you've been eating are covered in peanut sauce. Like, oh, I did not realize that. And luckily, nothing bad happened. But
But then it's like in the back of your head, it's like, oh God, I'm counting down the minutes.
yeah,
Okay, all right, all right. Just to give you mine, and I think this probably would emphasize my point a little bit more than the peanut stuff, because this is not something I'm necessarily allergic to, but it is just something I absolutely detest. Pickles.
really, you hate
Cannot stand
pickles?
pickles. Cannot stand them on my sandwich. Cannot stand it if they're put on a plate next to me and the juice flows over. I've been forced to take pickleback shots, and I have been cringed for the entire evening afterwards. I don't know what it is, but it's like when someone goes ahead and like, if you order something without pickles, and then they give it to you with pickles, and then it's like, no, that's not what I ordered. Please take it back. If all they do is scrape the pickles off, and the juice is still somehow on there, I'm still not fucking with it. It just the taste of it. I don't know if it's the sour, the brine. I don't know what it is, but it's just anytime I feel it, I smell it, it just ruins it for me. I'm not going to be able to enjoy it because that flavor is just going to be stuck on my tongue no matter what. Regardless of what I eat afterwards to try to cleanse it, no matter how much soda or something I drink to try to drown it out, it lingers. It's like a disease.
It's just vinegar.
It's like COVID. Pickles are like COVID to me. Oh. So it's like I just stay away from them completely. It's so bad that, granted, the last time I had a barbecue, I actually went ahead and I got a jar for pickles for people that wanted it. To this day, that jar of pickles is still locked up in the back of my fridge. I am not touching it. I will never touch it. If anything, I have to actually deliver a mini fridge to my friend Lisa later today. I'm going to try to pawn it off on her. I don't care if it's expired or anything, but she's taking it. I'm not.
Why aren't you just not throwing it out?
I feel like it would be a waste of my money.
No one you give it to is going to eat it at this point. Now, if I can be honest here, I'm actually very surprised about that because pickles are actually one of my favorites. Like I used to eat them as a kid. I used to actually buy bread and butter pickles and used to eat them with a fork right out of the jar. I love them on my sandwiches. It's one of the reasons actually I did used to like the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches because it would come with the pickles on it. I love burgers with pickles on it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But pickles do expire. It's time to throw that jar away.
It's never been opened. And as far as I know,
expired.
The date's still good.
It doesn't matter if it's pickled, and that's actually a term.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
But it does have an expiration date. It is still a fruit in a jar with vinegar.
Look, what someone else wants to do with it, fine. But since I did spend money on it, I am not simply going to throw it out. I'm going to pawn it on someone else to throw it out.
So you give it to me. I'm just immediately going to throw it in your trash.
Well, that's fine, but I'm not seeing you later. I'm seeing her. And she's the one that makes me do the pickleback shots. So if anything, she may just keep it just for the brine, not so much the pickles. And mind you, whoever invented the pickleback shot, go fuck yourself. All right? You went ahead and you took whiskey and you did one of the worst things you could possibly do to whiskey. So if you were the nut job that went ahead and created this idea, I hope you die and are put into a jar of your own. And that is how you sit for the rest of your days, just fermenting in a jar of vinegar. Because you deserve this, you evil, evil bastard.
Jesus. I mean, you can hate what you hate, but man, the hatred on pickles. Wow.
This is what I meant by stuff that you hated.
Yeah. I don't think I had that much hate for it. Like, I was trying to think about this, and the only thing that popped in my head was chipped beef. Like, as a kid, I hated chipped beef, but even now, like, my tastes have changed, and I kind of like it. I can't think of a food I hate, and the fact that you so despise pickles is just, it's amazing. You know, the only thing I'll hate, and this is what makes me a little bit weird, maybe this will put us on even playing ground. I don't like meat with a lot of fat on it, and in such, I'm weird about ham. I don't hate ham, but I will choose almost anything else over ham most of the time, because if there's too much fat on the ham or there's too much of a raw piece on the ham, it ruins ham for me.
Well, see, that's kind of interesting because I guess it would kind of depend on which ham you're talking about. Because
like a cooked ham.
That's the thing. There's two
actually, and lunch meat
really.
too. Lunch meat and cooked ham.
So even like a spiral ham, like you see in the cartoons.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, just like one of those. So if you get one of those spiral hams and you cut it and there's too much fat on it, or there's like a rough piece, like, that like reddish, really tough part, I hate that. I can't stand it. And lunch meat has that too. So I remember as a kid, I used to get ham sandwiches all the time. And if it had that rough piece on it, I throw the ham sandwich out. Like I couldn't stand the taste of it.
I'd say that's not bad because I mean I get the deli ham is definitely more processed, so it probably doesn't taste as good as like Spiral does. But I mean, as far as like pork products concerned, ham is actually the healthiest pork product you can have. So I
And
mean,
that's true.
even with the fat or the way it may be formulated, I would still take ham over say like a liverwurst or a bologna or something like that.
Which on the other end, liverwurst is one of my favorite sandwiches.
Oh God.
Um, I love liverwurst. And I eat it probably weirder than anyone else who actually does like liverwurst. I will get sliced up liverwurst. I will put it on white bread with ketchup, and I think it's delicious. It's a unique taste. I understand a lot of people do not like that taste, but I love it.
I think I think this little end part of the conversation purely describes like the whole purpose of this episode. It's like what some people will find like completely disgusting. Other people will go ahead and yeah, they'll love it. I mean, it's not like eating grasshoppers or anything, but certainly
I've never tried
pickles
bugs.
over liverwurst. It's like, but some people like it, so it's okay. But different strokes to different folks.
So
Although I really question you with the liverwurst because it's like I can't think of anyone that thinks it's like a popular lunch meat. So it's like,
I know it's not a popular lunch meat. I know a lot of people don't like it, but it was something I was fed to as a kid. I always enjoyed it, and I still buy it to this day. My old roommate, a friend of ours, Mark, he used to see me buy it too. And he'd see it in the fridge. He's like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, it's good, as I'm pouring the ketchup on top of it. Speaking of eating and eating bugs, we're coming near the end of the show, but I guess next week we should try to deviate a little back towards our normal stuff. What would you say towards reviewing Space Force? And there's a reason I said eating bugs, because there may be a scene or two in there.
Well, wait, what would we be reviewing?
Space Force with Steve Carell.
Oh, is that show out now?
Yeah, it came out last week. I figured you just didn't watch it because I didn't know if you had a Netflix account or not. But yeah,
Oh, come on. I've practically got every account. I just found out now that I can actually get HBO Max for free.
nice.
So I didn't think it came out, though, because, I mean, as far as Netflix was concerned, I was focusing on 13 Reasons Why, the final season.
Nope,
So,
it came out. It was released, and I actually sat down and watched it. So I actually watched something new and something that Ryan didn't watch for once. And it actually was pretty funny.
Disturbing universe.
This is the worst universe.
The worst timeline. But okay, all right. We can definitely do that, and of course, next episode, hopefully, another week will transpire, and there'll be some more news to go ahead and nitpick on, whether it be television, movies, gaming, whatnot. But yeah, no. If you want to go ahead and you want to put in a review for Space Wars, you said it was.
Yes, Space Wars, not Space Force. Except I did mean Space Force.
So it's Space Force. It's
Space Force.
It's based off the Trump thing, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about it's pretty much Steve Carell is playing a 4-star general who has been tasked with starting the Space Force.
Poor bastard.
And it's actually you think of the show and it's like, oh, it's just going to be this goofy mess. It actually is a really well done show so far. I still got a few episodes I got to finish, but I actually think it's good. It's actually, they're not really attacking or siding with any sort of political area. They're just trying to make a funny show about this concept.
Okay, I will watch it, and next week, along with whatever information I have to give you, I will let you know whether or not I think you're wrong. So, I think that being said, hopefully everyone's enjoyed today's a little offset episode. If you're not hungry by the time this episode is done, I don't know what more we can do for you. And definitely eat healthy, eat hearty, and don't forget to tip your delivery men whenever they come through.
Yes. And if you have any suggestions for any other episodes, feel free to message us on Facebook. We are most active there, and we read just about all comments and posts that are put there. You can also check us out at our multiple locations. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on Podbean. We have our YouTube channel, and you can find this all at our website, www.jtbigo.com. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you again for joining us for another episode. I bid you all adieu.
Fuck you picking my
Bye-bye.
shots.
Oh, God. Bye-bye.